This is going to be the biggest trade of my life. You heard that right, my friends. This is going to be the biggest trade of my life. Now, in today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys what is the stock which I'm going pretty much all in on in the next quarter from here on out to the upcoming years. So without further ado, hit the thumbs up button and now let's get into it. Now, what is this ticker going to be? This is going to be a ticker which I previously told you guys I was also going to go all in on, and it paid previously and it will pay once again. This is going to be UVXY. That's right, my friends. The great old UVXY, the great old hedge against the broader markets. That's it. I'm hedging my positions with UVXY with approximately 25% of my portfolio, a quarter of my portfolio. And in today's video, I'm going to be explaining to you guys why UVXY is going to be the best hedge against the markets which we are in right now. So without further ado, hit the thumbs up button and now let's get to work. So what does UVXY? Well, UVXY goes ahead and it actually tracks the VIX index, which is the volatility index. Now, if you watched my previous videos, you probably remember me coming out over here, and let's see if I can actually find this video. Let's see which one it was. Well, that wasn't it. Was that it? Okay, let's go over here. There we go. Right. So I came up with this video. Okay. And I'm buying $200,000 worth of this $10 stock. That's right, my friends. $200,000, which is equivalent of approximately 25% of my portfolio. 30% of my portfolio. It's closer to 30%, I believe. So I'm putting 30% of my portfolio in this one given ticker. And in today's video, I'm going to be telling you why you should also be allocating 30% of your portfolio to this ticker. So bam. Now, obviously, I posted this on September 13th. The stock was trading at $10. And then if we take a look at over here, where it's trading at now, it is now trading at $50 a share. I'm joking. It's not trading at $50 a share. They actually had a 1-for-5 reverse split. So it's really back at 10. However, if you take a look at the price volatility, right? I made that video on September. In October, the stock ran all the way upwards of $70 per share. You go ahead and you divide 70 by 5. What do you get? You get about a price of, it ends up being about $15. Well, I know that it went all the way upwards of $15, right? If we go on the 4-hour chart, I think you will see that it went up to all the way upwards of you see, it shows 77, which will equate to $15 a share, right? So it ran all the way from the levels that I said, from the $10 levels that I made this video on, right? All the way upwards of the $15 level. So it ran an extra about, what would that be? That would be about 50% gains, right? On top of the ticker. So why do I like this ticker so much? And then I came out again, right? Which is pretty funny because I came out again, right? When we go back, right? I came out again a month ago, okay? A month ago again, right? Or 13 days ago. Screw it, 13 days ago. I'm buying $40,000 worth of this one stock, and this is going to be on the ticker UVX. Right now, at this point, the stock was trading at, once again, at $11, give or take, okay? $10, $11-ish, right? Then when we go over here, right? Literally about a couple of days ago, it ran all the way upwards of $70 again, right? Which would equate to it running all the way upwards of the $13 to $14 levels, right? So again, right, this is a great swing trade stock. I'm just showing you guys its previous performance in my own portfolio, just so you guys understand, okay, well, you know what, man? This strategy that is about to break down right now, it clearly works. So what does UVXY, right? What does UVXY? Well, UVXY is a ticker which is constantly selling off, right? It's constantly selling off. And this is another thing that people don't understand, right? They hear the ticker and they go ahead and they look at the stock and they go, oh, it's in a really bad downtrend, don't buy it, blah, blah. Like, I've had so many people comment this bullshit under my videos without actually watching the video and understanding why am I saying to go ahead and buy UVXY and what is the purpose of UVXY in your portfolio. So let's talk about it like this. So first of all, UVXY is a ticker which, whenever the SPY crashes, UVXY pops, okay? Anytime we have uncertainty in the markets and there's volatility to the downside on the S&P 500, the VIX pops up, okay? It pops up really quickly, right? If you take a look, right, you see that, in April, it ran all the way from 100 to 287, so almost a 3x move. In August, it went crazy as well. Let's go over here. Let's see if we can find the COVID boom that it had also. Let's see. We'll go 2020. Look at this, right? When COVID happened, it ran from like, again, it does reverse split every, I think, a year or so or 6 months or so. So that's why these prices are kind of crazy. But it went from, let's say, 27,000 to 330,000. Right? So it 10x'd during the COVID crash, right? During the COVID crash, the VIX 10x, right? So it's one of those tickers that, again, right, it pumps every time we have uncertainty in the broader markets, correct? Now, let me explain this to you. So why am I buying so much of UVXY? Why do I have so much UVXY in my position? Well, let's go over here and let's take a look at the SPY, right? So when it comes to the SPY, right, you probably heard the saying cash is king, right? Cash is king, Sam. Cash is king. Cash is king. Cash is king. You've probably heard this saying before. The reality is cash is not king. Cash is not king. Cash is only king when you need cash the most. That's when cash is king. Okay? Cash is only king when shit's going south and you need money to buy stuff for cheap. That's when cash is king. Okay? Now, when the markets are going up, cash is not king, equity is king. Having stock is king, okay? Because it's going up in value, your cash is getting diluted, your cash is getting destroyed, okay? Good, we're on the same page. Now, let me explain this to you guys, okay? What if there was a way, there was a ticker which we could buy that every time we actually needed cash, our cash would be at a surplus of 20%, 30%, 40%, maybe even 50%. What if there was such a thing? What if there was such a thing? Huh? What if there was such a thing? So what am I talking about? Well, what I'm talking about is the VIX, right? Because how the VIX trades, how the UVXY trades, is that every single time there is a market crash, UVXY pumps to the upside. UVXY pumps to the upside. So imagine you're averaging into this ticker, averaging in. Then your whole cash is in this ticker, okay? Your whole cash is in this stock. 25% to 30% of your portfolio is cash. It's all in here, okay? Then the markets crash. Oh, I need my cash. Oh my God, I need cash to buy stuff. Well, guess what? Now the cash that you've parked in this ticker is actually also up 20%. So now you have 20% more cash than your total cash. And the worse the crash is, the more cash you have because the more the UVXY is up. Cinema. Pure cinema. This is what I'm talking about. Dude, I don't have to go far to show you guys what I'm talking about. It literally worked from November when I made that video till November 21st. It went from 50 to 68. Over a 20% move over here. Now, how are you going to buy the VIX, right? So there's multiple ways of doing this, right? Some people, the way they like to do it is they take out, they buy leaps, okay? They buy leaps on UVXY, okay? Which is a cool way of doing it, right? It's an interesting approach, right? I like shares more, okay? Why do I like shares more? I like shares more because there's no expiry date to them. That's really why, okay? There's really no expiry date to them. And I like to average into these tickers. I like to average in. So I'm not anticipating that, and this is another thing, right? Is that so many times people are, short-sighted. So let's go over here and let me do a little comparison with you guys and compare the S&P 500 with this ticker right over here. Okay, we'll do overlay. Okay. Very nice. So if you take a look, we had this dip in the SPY, we had this pump in UVXY. We had this dip in the SPY, we had this pump in UVXY. We had this dip in the SPY, we had this pump in UVXY. We had this dip in the SPY, we had this pump in the UVXY. So take in, if this is the S&P 500 and you want to buy stocks over here with cash, your cash is up this much now. Bro. This is it. This is the formula, okay? You're welcome. All right? So, what I like to do is I like to average in, okay? Because I don't like to, they say the great saying is timing the markets, not timing the markets, right? So I'm not gonna lie to you guys, we got kind of fucking lucky, okay, a couple of days ago. We bought a shit ton of UVXY and then the markets crashed. So I didn't really see that, like, I don't know, it was really luck, okay? I did not expect it to recover so quickly. However, I did understand that the markets are on shaky grounds, and I think that the markets right now are on shaky grounds again, right? So when we go back to the SPY, I think that there is low-key a higher chance than people anticipate for there to be no rate cuts this December. I think that there is actually a higher chance than people anticipate. Now, this doesn't mean that I think it's going to happen. Remember that. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm not sure if it's going to happen. But it does mean that there's a higher chance than the broader markets are anticipating for it to happen. Why? So why do I say so? So the number one reason that Jerome Powell announced that saying, hey, everyone, we're not going to go ahead and we're not going to go ahead and have a rate cut, right? What was the main reason? You may say, oh, it was lack of data, Sam. Oh, it was, it was the government shutdown. There was no data. No. The main reason was because we are actually on the brink of a recession. Okay? We're truly on the brink of a recession. We are. Okay? Inflation's going crazy. Shit's going south. We are. Okay? All right. Now, what is another cause of a recession? The market's crashing. The market's crashing is another cause, not sign, but cause of a recession. How does the market's crashing cause a recession? What are you talking about? Well, if people are looking at their investment accounts and they're going, oh, well, shit, damn, my investment's down like 20%. Okay, well, you know what? We got to cut on costs. We got to do this. Now there's less money flowing in the economy. You get what I'm saying? So, that's where we get to a point where Jerome Powell didn't want to crash the markets because crashing the markets would pour fuel on this fire that we got of a recession, of a potential recession fear. That's what happened there. And guess what? Well, we don't have data this year. Well, we don't have enough data, so we might just not do anything. We might just, sit on the sidelines and we might actually not just cut rates this quarter because, the data is inconclusive and da. Okay, all right, perfect. Amazing. Guess what? Okay. However, the markets now have recovered big. They've recovered big. Look at this big boner, big green boner. You see this? Boing, right? Let's go on the weekly so we get a better green boner. Boing. You see this? Right? Now, Jerome Powell could look at this and go, hey, you know what, man? The markets are doing pretty well. It looks like the bottom's in at this like 650-ish level. Maybe it wouldn't be so bad if I do come out and say, hey, everyone, we're going to have a rate cut, because now having no rate cut helps hold us off from a recession, and it doesn't crash the markets to freaking oblivion and beyond, which would cause a recession. Does that kind of make sense what I'm saying? So it's like, the markets have now bounced back up enough where if I announce that we're not cutting rates, which is good for us avoiding a recession, okay? In the short term, it might hurt, but in the long term, it's good for the economy, okay? If they propose, okay? Some would argue. Let's not argue, okay? Let's just agree that it's good for the short term, all right? Or it's good for the long term, even though it hurts for the short term, okay? So if they come out and announce, hey, everyone, we're not doing a rate cut, what happens? The markets crash. But the markets don't crash from here down to here now, do they? The markets don't crash back to their previous lows. To here, to 660, to 650. Beautiful. And then they move sideways, and then they move sideways. And then the Fed comes out and says, oh, we're expecting a soft landing. And then it goes back up. So that's why I'm buying UVXY. Okay? I'm averaging into it. Remember that. I'm averaging into it. I'm not going all in. I'm averaging into it. Okay? That's it. Anyways, I appreciate you guys. Listen, I trade every day. If you guys want to trade alongside me, check out our private community. Right now, we have the biggest sale we have ever had. You heard that right. Biggest sale we have ever had in the history of ever. It is 50% sale for the next 10 members that join. Okay? Give it a shot. Our community is the only community. I know you're skeptical. Listen to what I'm saying. It's good to be skeptical, first of all. There's a lot of sketchy shit going on in this industry. But listen, our community is the only community which comes with a 2 weeks free trial and a 30 days money back guarantee. No one else is doing it. This is what it looks like. We give you access to day trade alerts, swing alerts, option alerts, lessons, one-on-one access, dividends, crypto alerts, you name it, we got it. And this is what our alerts look like. We give it a ticker, we give it an entry, we give it an exit, we give it a stop loss. We also tell you how many shares to buy in your portfolio, which is really cool. And look at this. I'm closing half of UVXY at 67. Solid entry from, this was literally the 21st. We did really well there. That was UVXY. So we give you everything, right? We tell you how many shares to buy in your portfolio. So how do we do so? We tell you the share size in a 10K account. So let's say you have a 50K account. We say 10 shares in a 10K account. You buy, if you have a 50K account, you buy 5 times this amount. You have a 30K account, you buy 3 times this amount. Let's take a look at these trades alone, okay? SOUX. We said buy at 17. Let's take a look at how SOUX is doing. It's at 20. Pre-market right now, it's at 20. Okay? You see this? Beautiful. All right. CMCT. We said buy at 280 to 260. Targets 330 to 340. Let's look at CMCT. 330 right now. Pre-market 346. Let's go on the 5-minute just so I can show you guys. 346 pre-market. Look at this. It literally came down. This one was a beauty, man. Shout out Chabla Capital Gains. He crushed it on this one. It came down. It hit 256. So if we take a look, our stop loss was at what? Our stop loss was at 255. Okay? Stop loss below 255. Came down, bounced on 256, ripped to 340. That's how it's done. Okay? Again, there's a reason we have over freaking 400 plus members coming back month after month, man. We've been crushing it. Literally, Jim Big Goose, this is a couple days ago, Tuesday. He says 5 days into the 14 days free trial and the Discord cost is already paid for. I've only been trading the swing alerts, or also it will be a lot more if I had the time to day trade, to also day trade. Thanks, Sam, and the amazing team you've put together. Been in a few servers in my life. The rest don't even fucking compare. Not just the trade quality, but the mentors really actually care. You making money. Stop slacking and try to free trial. Least I could say after all the bread I made in this place. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Shout out my man. Listen to what he said.
All right, had to take a little video because of how fucking good these trades have been. But shout out Top Trader Academy. Shout out Capital Gains. Shout out Pro Trader JS, and everybody else too. I make money off of, but. The screenshots are from Capital Gains and Pro Trader JS. Look at the screenshots below. Deadass just paid for my ski trip. I'm out here on the slopes. I haven't done shit all day today except for fucking ski, hit a few buttons on my phone, and fucking made it.
Bang. Beautiful. This is literally yesterday. This is a couple days ago, or I believe this is yesterday. No, this is Wednesday. It says, I made about 53% profit on options trade today, and even more exercise in position as well. On one trade, was able to make up for the fee paid for taking the class. It's all worth it. Thanks so much, Sam and HG, for beautiful. Thank you, HG. Sam, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Made my first profit in options trading, joining HG Pro groups. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So again, we have day trade alerts, swing alerts, option alerts, and they all have their own dedicated coach for you guys to teach you guys how to do this stuff. Okay, so we don't just throw you guys to the sharks. Don't worry. Right, we teach you everything. Literally, Jamie says this is last week. He says, I joined after getting burned in Moon Market Discord from Pump and Nums about 5 months ago. Easily the best decision I ever made. Keep working hard, Sam. I appreciate you, brother. Beautiful, beautiful. Again, I'm not going to read all of these. Lily Didn't Kill Yourself says, this community changed my life. The few thousand I made here this month, but getting out of my losing streak and keeping the gambling habit, like Sam says, trade the best. Beautiful, beautiful. Anyways, 2 weeks free trial, 30 days money back guarantee, 5 days for 2 weeks free trial, 30 days money back guarantee. Next time members 50% discount. Why next time members 50% discount? Because we want to reward the action takers, not the procrastinators. Not the guy that says, Sam, I want to join, but I need to talk to my wife so she can ask her boyfriend if I can actually join your free trial. Dude, it's free. It's free, okay? You either join, see results. If you see results, you stick around. If you don't see results, you leave. It's not that crazy, okay? Anyways, I appreciate you guys. Remember, don't give up, don't quit. Why? Because 90% of traders are not unprofitable. 90% of traders just quit before they become profitable. I believe in you. Believe in yourself. Your boy Sam.